What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of 58 Years. 58 Years, Prison Purpose. Today's topic is going to be on life after prison. We are sitting down today, this afternoon rather, with a brother that has done just as much time as me and Will has done. And I want everybody to know that I am your host, Scott, and Will is the other host. This
What's up,
brother here
everybody?
This brother here has found purpose. He has rebuilt his life, and he has overcome the challenges. Welcome, my brother Bishop. How you doing today, my brother?
Thank you very much. I'm doing well. I'm too blessed to be depressed or stressed. This is the best time frame of my life. I've been out of them dungeons now 11 years, and I am doing terrific.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful, man. Could you give the audience a little bit about yourself, your background?
I would love to. Norman Bishop is my name. They took my name and gave me a number, 210-5334. It's indelibly ingrained in my mind. 1975, I committed an armed robbery, guilty, and I was apprehended, charged, and even before then, I had gunplay with the police. I'm one of a few black men that had a shootout with the police and can live to tell the story. I have lived to tell the story, and I'm anxious about telling the story. Um, I I'm as I aforementioned, I did commit the robbery, and so I'm thinking at that time I'm only 21. I'm thinking to go on and admit guilt, I would get some leniency in the sentencing. Again, gunplay with the police. I was shot with gunshot pellets, hit in the leg, uh, knocked down like that, apprehended, stumped out by the police. But I was in the wrong place, doing the wrong thing. I can say that today with humility. And so the punishment started upon getting hit with them pellets. It was to the degree it knocked me off my feet. I did have a weapon, 340 Magnum, and we exchanged gunfire. And them being more trained than me and everything, they came out on top. So I go to court. I heard you say earlier when you was talking to a sister, I was looking at some of the podcasts that Mecca had sent me, and I heard you say that she had they call a public pretender. I had a public pretender, and he was pretending like he was representing me. This same guy later on became the DA, the district attorney. He was fresh out of Wake Forest University, so he's feeling his way around, and he didn't do it. Well, he didn't have nothing to work with, no way. To tell you the truth, and I admitted guilt in hopes that I would get some leniency. However, they also wanted to squeeze me for information. And I think there was a customer doing that, particularly, you done caught my hand in the cookie jar. I think they thought that I would be willing to give them information on guys that I knew, men and women doing things in the community. But I ain't give them no information. I ain't tell them absolutely nothing. But they started dealing out of their vindictiveness, and I'm going to say racist vindictiveness. And so the first number they dated me, well, you're looking at 7 to 10 years. I said, okay, what's the parole on that? And they told me all that because I was up under the 1/4 law. So they said, we heard that people all down the East Coast. I was selling little drugs before I went in and hustling like that. I said, well, I understand what you heard, but I'm down here for armed robbery. Let's deal with that. So it said that the narcotic agents want to talk to you. I said, I don't know why. I'm not down here for no drugs, nothing like that. I'm down here for armed robbery. So then when I didn't bite, the next number they dangled at me was 10 to 15. Where now the DA say now you looking at 10 to 15. I said, all right, what's the parole on that? Under 1/4 law, I'd had to do a fourth before I became eligible. So when I didn't bite, I didn't take nobody to prison with me. The next number, they didn't dangle that, but it gave me 40 years to life for armed robbery as a first offender. And I'm like, in my mind, I ain't finna do no damn 40 years. In my mind, I'm gonna escape first chance I get. That was in my mind. And I had been in the Panther Party before I went in. So I went in a revolutionary. And just like Nelson Mandela, I proliferated that throughout my prison sentence. So now they done strapped me with a 40-year to life sentence. I got a 2-year-old daughter out here, and her mama and a couple of girlfriends, whatever like that. So I'm in these dungeons now. My prayer was, Father, and I ain't trying to convince you I was in submission to God, but I know He existed. I was trained the right way. So my prayer was, please take care of my daughter. I can't take care of her and everything. And my testimony is that He did. She's well now and produced me her with grandchildren. So they sent me to Central Prison in 1975. It was October 75. They had me on the yard in Central Prison by December. I'm all up in the hospital dorm. This is the old Central. I'm all up in the end dorm and all that right there. And so adjusting, I say this, and it may sound like you didn't have no problem. You saying you didn't have no problem adjusting? I had a problem adjusting, but I come out the project. So now I'm in another project. So I ain't got no problem being around brothers and nothing like that, because also I've been in the Panther Party. So my duty in the Panther Party was to go amongst those who was unenlightened, uneducated, and present them with what we thought was a good philosophy, a good ideology to strengthen our community. So I'm doing that. Plus, I love marijuana during that time. Before I leave jail, I done learned how to smuggle in marijuana. We were smuggling in shower powders containers even before I left jail. I said, well, hell, if it's gonna be marijuana, this bed ain't gonna be that hard. and it wasn't.
So you did a total of how much time, Bishop?
They gave me 40 years to life.
Okay,
let me. Offender, and it's really 2 life sentences, because the life before 1975 was 40 years. Undergirding every life sentence is a number, except life without the possibility of parole. I was under life sentence. The undergirded number was 80 years. I can know some guys was in at that time, Haywood Peel and some more brothers. They was under a life that they had got in 1972. Undergirded number there was 40 years. So they gave me 40 years to life. Then that's 40 to 80.
So I met Bishop on the yard, and it seemed sometimes when you meet somebody and it's so organic, you don't have all the particular details. Sometimes you have total recall of exactly how it went. But so I think sometimes when you have a kindred spirit with a person, y'all feel like y'all met each other long before y'all met each other. And with me having natural life, when I came to prison, I wasn't particularly trying to meet nobody. I was trying to meet me. I was trying to reintroduce myself to the guy that's doing a natural life sentence. Along my way, I connected with Bishop. Mm-hmm. And we had a lot of things in common. We like words, we like rhyming, we like philosophy, we like spirituality, we like being athletic, we like boxing, we like combat. We had a lot of the same ether. Our ether was the same, and it still is the same.
New York.
Huh?
We like New York City because I had been up in New York.
Yep, we like that. And Bishop's story was so interesting to me because I kind of celebrated someone who was so anti the system, who had escaped, who really had the NWA after police mindset. And as much as I admired that in him, I also saw his growth and development with wisdom and discretion about how to still be that way in what I thought was a more efficacious way. So from then to now, we bid it together, we wrote each other, we corresponded, and whenever we kind of bumped back into each other throughout my tenure, 25 years, his I think 39, right, Bishop?
Yes, sir.
We always got word to each other one day, one way or another. Then we finally got released. We continued the same thing. So I told him about our podcast. The timing was apropos. Here we are. Here he is. Welcome to the podcast, Bishop.
Thank you very much. I'm enraptured to be here. I've been looking forward to this ever since you introduced it to me this week. I've been up. I've been preparing, but it's not a whole lot of preparation necessary, because all I got to do is stand on truth. And all I got to do is tell my story and my wife's story, because she's very much a part of me being able to do that time differently.
Right.
One of the first things the guys told me on the yard, they say, your time don't start till you get a write-up. I couldn't wait to get a write-up. Unlike, because I wanted the time to start, but they wasn't speaking literal. Unlike Mecca, and I articulated this to him when we met. I think we met maybe 94. He was just coming in the system. I was just coming back in the system. I had been out on escape, as he had mentioned, and I was just coming back in. And then down through the years, when we was on camps, after meeting and everything, he still was infraction free. I'm still getting write-ups, because that was the guys that orientated me on how to do this time. They were saying, essentially, they were saying, don't let going to the hole keep you from standing your ground. If you have to tell an officer to fluck off or whatever, do that. And I took pride in that, going to the hole and coming on the stars. I took pride. I'm like, I ain't gonna be no, and I'm not saying Mecca was a model prisoner. He was a model to other prisoners and he was a model to staff, and even to me. Because when I met him, I done had so many write-ups, my infractions, and been to the hole and all that right there. And I told him then, and I'll reiterate it now, had I done my time like that, if I had the discipline that you had, I'd have been out a long time ago. Yet I won't trade my story, because that's what makes me me, right. And that's what makes me share my story with the kind of passion that I do. So I don't know, be laying around saying, I wish I'd have did this different. In fact, he mentioned escape. I had told myself in that courtroom that he sentenced me to 40 years of life. I'm saying in my head, as a Black Panther, you done lost your damn mind. Ain't no way in hell I'm finna do no 40 years. I'm gonna leave first chance I get. I didn't say it openly, but it was in my head. And so when I saw the opportunity to leave in 7 years, I had I got promoted to minimum custody in 1982. I went in 1975. So in 7 years, I was already in minimum custody, because I didn't have nothing but a robbery. I'm in there with hardened criminals, Mecca and them, and all the money. I'm in there with hardened criminals. I ain't got no but a little armed robbery, you understand? And didn't get all the money, didn't get none of the money. Some of the guys used to joke, even some of my programmers say, you the only man I know got a life sentence for getting shot. That's what I got. I got shot and got a life sentence, didn't get none of the money, nothing like that, right? So when we met, I think 94, I had already went in 75. I had already done 75, 94. I had already done 19 years. And in that 19 years, I had already been on escape. I only made it a few months. Matter of fact, I escaped twice. I said, I'm gonna do this till I get it right. I like getting out there like that because at that point, I'm conscious of the fact that if I survive all this gonna be a hell of a story right here. And
so Scott, so Scott, as the host, as you being the host and me being the co-host, and I love the authenticity of this, because Bishop mentioned this is his first time being on a Zoom call or a podcast or anything of this nature. You got to really direct the direction, because let me tell you something. Bishop's story is movie worthy. It's very cinematic. And you could get drunk off his his movement because it's just that fluid. So if you don't bring it back on task, we're gonna be back on the yard walking. They're gonna say yard closed, yard closed. We're gonna say, damn man, time sure do fly. So you gotta really direct it because that's the host and the co-host responsibility because he's a straight up newbie to this.
Right. And you know what? I like this because this is original. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
This don't happen all the time on a lot of podcasts. You know what I mean? So we're being real. And yes, we are on the yard. But I want to ask you this. You said that you were sentenced under the 1/4 law, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And I also want to ask you this right here. Could you explain a little bit briefly about the 1/4 law?
Okay, yes, sir. Under the 1/4 law, I was eligible for everything. Minimum custody after 40 months. Eligible on that. Because see, even though they gave me 40 years to life, the life was inactive under the 1/4 law. So I was really working on the 40. Right. That's why I was able to get the minimum custody in 7 years. Right. Because along the way, in 1982, they revamped the sentencing scheme and they made some of it retroactive. So when I would have been coming up for parole under the 1/4 law after 10 years, I came up in 7 years because I had some earned time, some meritorious time.
So the 1/4 law meant after you do a fourth of whatever you were sentenced to, you became eligible for minimum custody or parole.
Parole, minimum, yes, sir.
Yeah,
both of them.
So that's what the 1/4 law meant. All right.
Yes, sir.
And you also, I like to know, and I think the listeners like to know how much time you did all together before you was released back out into the community.
All together, I did 39 years, and I'm encapsulating the 4 years that I was on escape in 2 attempts. And the reason I calculate that in is because they calculated it in. For every day I was on escape, they took a day that I had already earned. Meritorious time, good time. So they had subtracted 4 years from earned time that I had that would have been applicable to my eligibilities. So I count that too. Actually, I did 35 on the inside and 4 on escape.
Okay.
And
I didn't wonder with all that he described his mindset and his mentality. I had no idea what it was about me that someone who was on the other end of the spectrum. I'm walking around with it. He met me early on in my sentence, so I'm still under the concussion of natural life, and I couldn't understand. And it wasn't offsetting. I just couldn't understand what was somebody like Bishop, radical, Black Panther, didn't escape, had the F the police mindset. I couldn't understand what it was about me that he found enough interest to hold his attention. But guess what? Organically, we can't stop, won't stop.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I can weigh in on that. What I admired about you was, as I aforementioned, the way you was doing your sentence. You know, I wish I could be that disciplined or whatever like that. But then when we start building the expansion of your mind, you know, your intellect, some people I noticed became inferior around you, inferior to the degree that they couldn't contribute to the conversation because they couldn't match your intellect. Now I'm doing all that, but I'm also studying. You know what I'm saying? I'm also in the dictionary. I'm in the Quran. I'm in the Bible. And I'm a wordsmith and the oldest rapper alive.
So with that said, right? Okay, you did 39 years. You said, I heard you said something about your wife.
Yes, sir.
Did you meet your wife while you was in prison, or did you meet your wife while you was outside?
When you got out. I said it like, her name is Helen. She right here. I'm gonna get her to stand behind me in a minute before we close out, and if that's okay. She came to visit her son in 1986, and I says this in quotation: "You came to visit your."
His son, his phone probably died, bro.
I'm gonna turn that off next time. She come to visit her son, and we was okay in prison and everything. And I was out there working in what was called the JCs at the time.
I remember the JCs.
So I'm out there representing that. but we stripped the title of the JC because we had to pay them $500 a month.
I remember them JCs. They out there checking pictures and
How
scanning the
did,
visitation
how
room.
did you pay?
And I went out there
Yeah,
for that purpose to
that's
meet somebody,
exactly.
right? And lo and behold, here she come. Staying up in there, looking good, smelling good and everything. I said, okay, here we go. And it went just that way. And she was checking me and I was checking her. Now, she's a little older than me, and it really didn't matter at that time because when you connected in a place like we connected, what we connected now, but even then we connected now in the spirit. So it
Right.
really don't matter. I'm here for the duration. And what she was there for me, she became the engine. Even though I had a few girls that came in and some ladies, I say, came in and they might have stayed with me 3 months. They might have stayed with me 9 months, stayed a whole year because they say they wasn't built like that. She said, I'm going to rock with you until I get you up out of there. I'm like, okay, we're going to see about that. And lo and behold, she right over there right now. she right over there right now. We met on the inside.
That's wonderful, man. That is. So when you got out,
Uh-huh.
that's what your destination was at her house.
Yes,
To her
sir.
house.
I was paroled to
Okay.
her.
So,
My parole officer said this in a, I think it wasn't condescending. It was facetious. He said, well, now you got 2 parole officers, me and your wife. And I needed 2. I needed 2 parole officers. You understand? Because I was still want to try a lick. Even after I got out, I still want to try a lick. She told me, she said, them hours that you want to be out there, ain't nothing open but legs in jail. And you done had your share. Boom.
yeah. So
Yep.
the topic is life after prison, right?
Okay.
So you out, you with your wife. How was that transition? Moving into a house with someone that you met inside
Mhm.
and you never really stayed with. You know what I'm saying? How was that transition?
It was the vicissitudes, the ups and downs of that was such that we were determined to make it work regardless, but it was some getting used to because she had been accustomed to doing for herself in the house, in a home by herself. Of course, she had some family members. That's a story for the next podcast. And we had to wrestle with their mentality because all of them was grown. A couple of them my age. So now I'm coming home to a wife with children, grown children my age. Only one knew me on the inside. So everybody else is I'm suspect in everybody else's mind because they thinking because of our age difference, because I've been locked up that long. And because I'm kind of Casanova kind of guy like that right there, they thinking that I'm going to trade their mom in for one of these husbands out here, but that ain't going to never happen.
All right, that's right. That's what I'm talking about. Because
Yeah.
I asked that because I met my wife when I got out,
Okay.
and I can remember talking to Mecca throughout the years in prison, and also when I got out, he was already out.
Yes,
And
sir.
I had shared with him that I had met someone, and I remember him always telling me, always be straight up. So that's one thing I try to leave with other guys when I leave them after they got out, and I came and saw them. We had our conversation. I say, look, man, whatever you do, when you find that lady, let's be straight up with her about your criminal background and what you had done to go to prison.
That's very
And I can remember talking to my wife, you know what I'm saying, and I said, look, I got something to tell you. And I know the first thing she thought was, oh, this nigga here married, or he got
Right.
a girlfriend, or he doing
Right.
something that's crazy, you know what I mean? But
Right.
when I got to the restaurant and I met her, she said, what you got to tell me? I said, I told her about my time, how much time I did, what I did. And she was like, oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Well, the thing I'm trying to say is I was straight up with her. You know what I mean? I
Sure.
come every day to the table, what I done, how long I done, and I thought she was gonna be like, "Oh my God, I ain't mess with you, but you did all that time, man. You might
Right.
be a lunatic." But nah, and she
Yes.
stuck with me to the day. We've been together for now 5 years.
You got some clapping going on now. You got some clapping going on now. And we didn't have that barricade. We didn't have that obstacle to deal with because we met on the inside.
Right.
Not only did we meet on the inside, when we start writing letters, I'm going through all of that. I'm telling her everything because I had just come off Escape for the first time in 1986. In maybe, I think I came off Escape, went on January, March, April. I didn't say about a few months. So I was just off Escape a few months before I met her. And because I met her in 86, I come back off Escape in 86. So I'm telling her all that. I'm telling about the centers I had. We come to find out we had lived in the same projects. She's not from Winston-Salem. She's from actually Burkesville, Virginia. But in North Carolina, she was down in Oxford, North Carolina.
I know where's that.
Sir?
I know where's that.
Okay. That ain't far from Durham. And then she had moved from there to Winston-Salem. She came to Winston-Salem in 1975. I was kidnapped and abducted in 1975 and sent to them dungeons. We didn't know each other. We had never met out there at the clubs. Because come to find out later on, she was at a club called 222. I was right down on Liberty Street at the dungeon with the younger crowd. She was up there with the older crowd, right? Come to find out, we was at the same places, but we never met when both of us was free.
Oh, so
she was always free.
So you out of prison. Everything is going good. Before you got out, how did you find your purpose in life? How did you change your life around? And what made you want to be the person that you are today?
Hey, that's an excellent question. Because I had a vision of coming home and doing right by her. And I still nurture that same vision. Because I need to interject this. We married twice while in prison. So I'm like, this woman right here, what matter of a woman is this? I knew when I got an opportunity to really see clearly that I can get out, saw her efforts even after messing up royally and getting sent back. Because I went on Escape the second time. When I went on Escape the second time, we were married. So now I'm thinking I have not done right by her, and she's done nothing but right by me. So by me believing in God all along, not being in submission like Mecca, but by me at least believing, I knew that I was going to have to do right by somebody. Of course, I'm going to always do right by my daughter, by my siblings. But here's a woman. And my history is I had never done right by a woman. And that's not to say that I'm a misogynist. That's not to say that I dog women out. But I never committed to a woman and did right by a woman until I met this one. And initially, there was still some glitches in that. Right. And so when I saw her efforts, I'm not going to say her efforts was more genuine in getting me out than mine was in getting out. But if we lay all the cards on the table, while she working out there diligently out here to get me out, I'm getting busted with marijuana, dirty insurance. I'm going back to close custody. I'm going from custody back to close custody. And she's still with me. I'm like, if I ever make it home, I'm going to be the best husband she ever had. She might agree with that today.
So where did your transition start? Because I heard you say earlier that someone told you about writing a book or something like that, or something like you said, I think you said that earlier about
sir.
Telling your story. That's what you said, about telling your story. So
well, she was instrumental in that too, because I'm self-educated. So I didn't do all the studying. Mecca shared in one of his talks that his mother bombarded him with books and literature and all that right there. I ain't getting none of that. So I'm self-educated. I got the dictionary, the Holy Quran, and the Bible. Those are my favorite books. And I'm learning words similar to Malcolm. In the movie, I've been through the whole dictionary. I'll be Elijah Muhammad. Bless. I've been through the whole dictionary. I was doing like that. I wasn't taking time to actually learning how to spell the word. I'd be using word guys. Can you spell that? No, you spell it. I'll introduce you to it. You can at least go learn how to spell it. I ain't want to spell it. I wanted to use it.
Yeah.
Another thing that I admired about Mecca, his intellect was so riveting, right? But she told me, she says, you need to straighten up in there or they gonna bury you in there. And that hit me, it impacted on me. She said, what you need to do is go get your GED, start there. I'm like, GED? I'm way beyond that. Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you read my letters? But then she was right, because they had come out with, see, I was in so long until the system had transitioned from a mindset they'll work them hard. I was in doing that working time. But then they bought in program with working us hard and paroling us and everything. They found that the demographics of that wasn't working and it was too much recidivism. So they said, let's bring in programs. Let's insist that they go to program. Let's insist that they get their GED. So I didn't have my GED or nothing. I quit school in the 9th grade. So she said, go get your GED. Shortly there afterwards, they sent a memo out saying, if you've been in, if you consider a long timer and you coming up for parole and you know you don't have your GED.
Why does it do that, Scott?
I don't know. I think he keep moving around. Either he keep moving around or his battery low. One of the two.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he got a good, he got a heck of a story though, man.
He got one. Yeah.
Yeah. You back? We can't hear you.
Okay, I'm back. I'm back now. Hey, baby, let Angel in, please. So she was instrumental in me started thinking outside the box, right? I'm like, I'm already a genius. I don't need no damn GED like that, right? And so, and then, you know, I looked at her life. She my hero. I looked at her life. She had been working. She had been successful. She owned her own home. She had a home built. Oh, y'all in? Okay. Hey, y'all, make yourself at home. I'm on the podcast. Make yourself at home. This is my family coming in right now.
Okay.
They don't want to go set up this computer for me. Hey, man, I'm enjoying this. This better than smoking weed. You understand what I'm saying?
Hey, but let me ask you this.
Okay.
Throughout your re-entry, your transition, was it hard to overcome the challenges of being locked up for 39 years and then coming out here in society or in the community, trying to navigate, you know what I'm saying, what's been going on? You know, because this is a new world order. I call this a new world order for guys like us. I did 29, Mec did 26, you did 39. So there's a lot of new stuff going on out here. So did you have any challenges, or was it hard to overcome the challenges that you faced?
It's a challenge every day. It's still a challenge every day, and I've been out 11 years. It's a challenge every day, but what helps me and what helped me then and what helps me now is she presented me with such a solid and fortified home life. And so that gives me something to build on. Now I'm responsible for taking care of the car. Now I'm responsible for paying the bills. Now I'm responsible for bringing the bag home. But she trained me well. You know, and I bucked a lot, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, again, ain't nothing out there but going back that way. And I'm loving this more than even thinking about that. But every day it's a challenge. Every day. To this. And what makes it even more of a challenge is some of her family members have been trying to repudiate me and trying to cause my marriage to be unsuccessful, because now they want to come in and benefit from what she already established and what I have contributed to these last 11 years. And I'm like, the devil is a liar, and you can try that foolishness if you want to, because I know that our marriage is worth fighting for. In fact, I've been in some fights with them.
Right. So let me ask you a question, Becca.
Yes, sir.
When you first met Brother Bishop, right? What was your
Uh-huh.
thoughts when you first met him?
Um, when I first met Brother Bishop,
Y'all want some
I
food over here?
I clearly identified with his energy. Number one, his energy was so upbeat, so bright, so energetic. Uh, just he was ebullient, man, with energy, and his ability to just play with words, man, to manipulate the words in ways that I could understand and comprehend, man. That was the most stimulating thing, man. My time was very cerebral, man. I got all the physical things out of it through my workouts, but I was starving mentally for a certain level of conversation that I got from Bishop, and I yearned, I sought that out with him, and what he was rambunctious, but at the same time, he just didn't give a damn what nobody thought about him. And I lived my life the same way, and that was a draw for me to be around somebody that wasn't always so jaded by the system, who understood it, who called it for what it was, but still right after that could say, hey, man, let's go play some one-on-one, man. Let's shadow box. Let's do this or that. Like, I never seen nobody who was both ways. Most people I met that hated the system so much, they were so bombarded with their hate. They couldn't have the joy of saying, man, did you see that movie? That's a good movie. They felt like having any kind of joy about anything in prison was contradicting they fight against the prison.
Mm.
I didn't see that in
Right.
Bishop. I saw the dichotomy of I hate it more than anybody. I promise you that. Don't nobody hate it more than me. But at the same time, this where I am, man. It's gonna be Saturday morning, gonna be nice. Meet me on the yard. Let's play some one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. And you said, correct me if I'm wrong. You said jaded by the system.
Yeah,
Correct?
jaded, man. Meaning we had, man, so many guys who had been in prison before I got there tried to indoctrinate me to think that because I had such a lengthy sentence, I wasn't supposed to have enjoyment with anything. I was supposed to be so bitter, so angry, so toxic. I was supposed to exude that about everything. And I'm not me. That's not me, and I refuse to
Right.
be that way. So
Right.
they would question how much I hated the system, but when they would try to have this pound for pound cipher and put me in the middle of it and battle me with words and concepts and ideas, they always walked away confused because they couldn't understand how I understood
Mm-hmm.
how much I understood where I was, but at the same time, I could go run laps, I could watch a good movie, I could go get an ice cream, and I could laugh and smile a lot. And
Right.
guys was trying to shape me in their image, man, and I refused to do so.
You know what? It's funny you said that, right? Because I can remember when I got my time, and I went for the courthouse, went back to the county jail, and I
Mm-hmm.
can remember a guy. Um, when I got back, he was like, "Yo, man, I heard you got your time, man. Sorry about how much time they gave you." He said, "I'm gonna tell you something." He said, "Man, keep your mind off the streets, your
Mm-hmm.
hand off the meat. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, and do your time, right?" I
Well, I
said,
didn't keep my hand
"Huh?
on. Okay, all right.
Say it again."
Now, now on my,
Yeah,
I,
that's what he told me.
I
He said,
didn't
"Keep
do
your mind on the
one thing.
street." He said, "Keep
I
your mind
kept
on
my
the street."
mind on the street and my hands on my meat. That all.
Right. I'm just telling
I
what
ain't
he
got
told
no
me, right?
semen now. I ain't got
Right,
no
right.
semen. I jacked off all my semen.
Yeah. So when he told me that, right, one
Yeah,
thing that clicked in me when he said, "Keep your mind off the streets,"
yeah,
and if I would have did that, I would
yeah.
got caught up in all the activities, all the wrong activities that was going on in the
Right,
prison system. You know what I
right,
mean? I
right,
couldn't keep my mind off the street because that's what I was destined to get back to.
right, right. Me too. Me too.
You know what I'm
And
saying? So it was funny that you said that how Mick broke that down, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying, about how guys was just trying to influence him to do
yeah.
things that he know he would never do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that was like that was real profound. That's what you said though, man.
Yes,
But
sir.
Bishop, tell you, hey man, you should write a book, my brother. You really should write a book, man.
Oh yeah, we working on it. We're gonna work on. Matter of fact, we got one out now. It's just a book of spoken words and essays. I did that within 2 years I was out. Did a video and a CD. So we already tapped into that to do a litmus test and see how it would be received. And it was received well. I'm self-published. I sell my own books, I sell my own CDs, sell my own videos because my publisher, she shared with me that she had gone the route of putting hers in Barnes and Nobles and stores like that, and they was getting more of her profit than she was. So she says if you are one who will push your own material, you will have better success because all the profit is yours. I liked it that, and
Yeah.
it worked out well. Now I spoke to Mecca about his book of recent, and he was saying that he didn't really write it for that purpose of getting a whole lot of money, this, that, and the other, and he hadn't really pushed it like he did when he first wrote it. That's my story too, because I wasn't generating enough money to help with these bills. So I've been working since I've been out. That was a determination I made. I'm gonna help this woman in every genre that she needs help, every degree that she needs help. So everybody did, or all of us need help in paying them bills. So she had been abandoned by those who should have helped her, who was in her life, bum ass guys and everything, even family and everything. So I said, I'm gonna do more for her than all the guys been in her life, including her family.
Let
And
me ask you this. Let me ask
yes,
you
sir.
this. So,
Yes, sir.
uh, you wrote a book. Well, you wrote some. Well, you did say you wrote a book, right?
Yes, yes,
Uh, you got other things going on out in the community.
yes, sir.
Uh, if someone that's watching this episode right now, they want to get in contact with you,
Yes, sir.
how can they get in contact with you?
336-749-8901. Call me. Call a brother. Especially you want to buy something. I
Say it
got
again.
lots.
Say it again.
336-749-8901.
Okay.
Call me, especially if you got a whole lot of money and want to invest in us. Because we got a story, and that'll be the best investment you can make because we're gonna have the #1 bookseller. Then, as I aforementioned, I'm the oldest rapper alive / lyricist. I got rhymes and everything. And on one of these podcasts, I'm just gonna spit the whole 30 minutes.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Give us a little taste of your rhyme before we get off this thing. Right? Just a
This
little taste.
right here, since everything going on in the world like it is, this is entitled Inside America. And I says this. Inside America, that's execution, air pollution, mass confusion, and prostitution. Institutions without solutions don't adhere to the Constitution. Degradation, poor education, deprivation of liberation, taxation without representation, police raids with no authorization, equals massive aggravation and desecration, senseless killings all these years, terrorizing people, igniting fears, a government with no direction, people having sex without protection, sending young people off to die on the premise of a lie. None of them know the real reasons why. Some come home sad, some come home mad, others come home in body bags. People with degrees in welfare lines. At Christmas time, people ain't buying. It's real hard to keep your head up. People everywhere are fed up. Now we got oil polluted waters. Suicide prevention don't want to be bothered. It make me want to holler, throw up both my hands. Guys born a male don't want to be a man.
Okay.
Yeah. I could spit. Yeah, that composition right there got 76 bars. And here's the God in it. First, God inspired the words, and then he blessed me to remember all the bars, and that composition was written all the way back in the 90s.
So let me ask you this. So
Yes,
before we get off, what could you lead the people to feed off for the whole week?
Holding yourself together while you falling apart. Ooh. Hold yourself together while you falling apart. That's been our story. We had to hold ourselves together while we was falling apart. I heard Malcolm say he told his mother, if I don't get out of here, I'm do something myself. She said, hold yourself together while you falling apart.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
So Becca, before we get off, I know you and Bishop got a great relationship. What would you like to say to Brother Bishop before we get off this air right now?
That's a tough question because I'm communicating to Bishop by the way I live my life all the time because he sold into me a hope that added to the hope that I had about getting out. And he always, his energy and his spirituality, man, always let me know that there was a reason each day to hope. And I knew that God had blessed me to connect with Bishop because I needed it so bad. I needed to see somebody who exemplified what time would be like had I decided to go the way that he went. He was so candid and transparent in everything that it was a tutelage for me, and it gave me the opportunity to decide how I wanted to do my time.
Mm.
And I don't know. I believe that tomorrow ain't promised to nobody. So every time I talk to Bishop, which his camera is going off, I hope he can hear this. Every time I talk to him, I try to reciprocate the energy by being honest and straightforward and inspiring, because that's what he has always been to me. Being older, being way more experienced with so many different things, I sat at his feet in a lot of ways, man. And he was a guiding light. He was always been a guiding light for me.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I wanted him to come back on real quick because he said he wanted to introduce us to his wife. But
Yeah.
it looked like it's kind of hard. I don't know what's going on right now, but man, it was a pleasure to be able to, hear the brother's story, the energy the brother got. You know what I'm saying? To be so older than we are. I hope I can have the same energy when I get around his age as
Hmm.
well. He seemed like a good brother, um, and he seemed like he's trying his best to uh, get his not just his name but his material out there to help others who's coming out of incarceration, and also trying to help stop the recidivism. You know what I'm saying? And that's a wonderful thing, bro. For real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a wonderful
No
thing, man.
doubt.
So
I hate his thing went out,
I
man.
know, man. Me too, man. You know what I'm saying? But I like this podcast right here, man, because it was so original. You know what I mean? Um, it wasn't scripted. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Right.
that's what I love about what we are doing. It's not scripted. So we come from the heart. You know what I'm saying? We let people know how we lived behind those walls. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing, man. So hopefully next time um, we can have him on again and we can continue the conversation. He just is hyped, bro. That's why he's just
Yeah.
so hyped and
Yeah.
so
He hot.
energetic. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to get this whole story out when he was a little boy to now. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But hey, it's all good though, man. I hope everybody that tune on enjoy. Please subscribe. Please like and know that what we're doing is original. It's nothing fake about what we're doing. It's not
Nah.
scripted. It's not none of that garbage, man. We bring a raw material.
And I want everybody to stay tuned for part twos and threes and fours. If there's questions in particular, if you got critiques, if you got ideas, if you got suggestions, man, go into our chat line or and send them in to us. Let us know what you think. Let
No
us know
doubt.
what you like, what you didn't like, what you understood, what you didn't understand, and we'll try to address that next time.
But that said, man, thank you for tuning in to another episode of 58 Years. Until the next time, love, peace, and happiness.
Peace.